Having a birthday and the 4th of July fall pretty close to each other gave me a great opportunity to take a full week of work off, and in this video we're sort of reviving an old series I used to do, a week in the life of a wildlife photographer. So I'll show you everything that I got up to in my mini summer vacation, and well, it was pretty varied, so I hope you enjoy. Long overdue, last summer I made my way up to Brainard Lake to try to find some moose, and well, we found a lot of them. I was hoping for a repeat performance, and my dad and I decided to head back up and give it another shot. As we got to the gate, the weather was not what I would call ideal, but we did get a nice little encouraging tip from one of the rangers.
Hello. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
Any active moose sightings today?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Is there?
Yeah.
Mainly on the left side, I should go like past Brainard Lake,
Go.
where all the brush and shrubbery is.
Once we got to Red Rock Lake, the rain lightened up into more of a mist, so we decided to stop for our first moose check.
Yeah, this is cool. Yes. Very moosey. Like I said, there were not moose here last time either, but yeah, it's just a cool little spot.
With no moose at Red Rock Lake, we decided to go up to Brainard Lake and walk around when the weather turned on us again, but it made for this spectacular scene. We waited out the rain in my car, which took about 15 minutes, and then we decided to hike up to Long Lake, which is where I had seen all of the moose last year. And here's the thing about Brainard Lake. Even with no moose, it's a stunning place to be. But then we even found some moose. After finding these two young bull moose, we waited around a long time to see if they would get active. In fact, we were hoping one of them would just even stand up, but they didn't. But nonetheless, it was still nice to see some moose, which was what we came up there for, and the stormy skies still made for some really nice landscapes as well. So overall, with this trip, I was very pleased. If you are new to the channel, you may not know this, but my passion for photography really came when I started getting into storm chasing around 2007. I had finally learned enough about forecasting that I was able to get out there and get on some really good storms, and I just thought it was such a waste to not be able to photograph these the right way. I had just a generic point and shoot camera, so that really pushed me into getting into real photography. And now, over all these years of chasing, I've seen high-end tornadoes. I've seen 2 tornadoes at once. I've seen one storm put out 13 different tornadoes. I was in hardcore.
Yeah, tornadoes on the ground now. Yep, it's down.
But around 2018, I really started to lose passion for storm chasing, and then we hit the pandemic, which really shut it down for me. But I can't help it, every spring, I get that urge to get out there again and see some good storms, and we had a great chase day come up on July 3rd, where I ventured up to the Nebraska Panhandle with my good friend Ed Grubb on the search for that ever-elusive tornado. This first storm of the day we got on was near Kimmel, Nebraska, and although the storm may not look impressive right now, those winds that you're seeing going across the field, yeah, those are feeding into the storm, which is building it up to make it stronger. The storm continued to grow and looked more impressive on radar and visually, so we just stayed out ahead of it to the east. And finally, near the town of Sydney, we got another look and it went tornado warned.
I see a spot. There's our name on it right now.
And certainly the storm does look pretty menacing right here. It's got all those blocky lowerings that we call scud clouds, and that's our area of interest for sure, but it never really got that organized, and I don't think a tornado was ever really a serious threat. And sure enough, later down the road, the storm didn't look very good and the tornado warning was dropped. And this has been really a consistent theme for me chasing so far this year in 2024. Got on some good storms, but they just never really made it happen.
Sounds loud, but
That's what I have to remind myself. It sounds loud, but it's not. 2.5 miles.
It's basically where that chaser is.
And now we're getting the range of all the other chasers.
My friend Kendall, who I know through storm chasing, recently got a brand new camera and wanted to do some wildlife photography. So I suggested we go out to one of my favorite places, of course, the Rocky Mountain Arsenal. And our goal for the day was to photograph some deer fawns, which are now big enough that they shouldn't be in hiding as much throughout the day. And as you can see right off the bat, we found some deer, but unfortunately no fawns. And of course, it being the Arsenal, there's tons of other wildlife to see as well. I then took us to the secret trail I know of where we found our first fawn. When we first saw this fawn and doe in the meadow, we knew that they would cut right across our periphery as long as we weren't detected. So we remained really quiet, didn't move around a lot, and that is exactly what happened. It was awesome.
One just flew.
We also stopped again to see the burrowing owls, and now all the owlets out there are pretty reliably flying around.
Oh yeah, I see them. They're cute. Oh, I think there's a fifth one in the back, behind the two. They're just a little further away. Yeah,
Oh, yep, there it goes. Yep. Oh, it's flying. Pretty good. Slow down, guy. I hope he did.
And to wrap up our trip at the arsenal, my friend Kendall had the hands down spot of the day, seeing this Swainson's hawk nest up at the top of this tree. We actually got to see one of the parents feeding what looks like, I believe, 3 chicks in the nest. It was really cool to see.
She's feeding them. Yeah. Or he, I guess it could be dad.
There's a hummingbird up there too.
right, this is a tour of my new little studio setup that I have been building out the past couple of weeks. This is going to be my new place to edit photos and YouTube videos. So yeah, I got this new desk, nice dual monitor setup. I was editing on one single monitor previously, so that's a nice little upgrade. And yeah, over here, a new, much larger bookshelf, which will hold all my camera, bodies, lenses, everything camera related will be over there. And yeah, got this. I had this love seat that was down in my basement. I thought it'd be cool to put in here, just a place to chill. And going back around over here, another little bookshelf, which I'm gonna put like all my accessory stuff. So like filters, batteries, audio stuff like that. And then the big one is this. This is a new printer I just bought. This is the Canon Pixma Pro 200, and it is a pro photograph printer. So I am going to take care of all these bare walls by printing up my own stuff. So yeah, that's kind of the plan here, to take care of these bare walls, is to put some of my own stuff up. And I've got lots of space to do that. So yeah, but this is a little sneak peek. Much work still to be done. It's still very messy in here. But yeah, I thought it was good enough that I edited this past video in here, and I'm gonna do my little post segment in here. So let's get right to that.
All right, is this thing on? Are we recording? So yes, this is my new little studio. Hope you enjoyed a sneak peek. Like I said in the video, still much work to be done. It's still very messy in here. Man, if you need someone who's an expert in building furniture, I know a guy now. Yes, it's been very time consuming over the past couple of weeks. So again, it's been another reason for the delay in getting videos out, but I really like it in here. It is very echoey though. So I may need to get some of that, the sound treatment you can put on the walls to kind of dampen echo. So if this voiceover here at the end sounds a little echoey, you know, I'm working on it. But yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed this video on all of the various outings I've been up to over the past couple of weeks. Most of them all occurred in that week I had taken off of work during the 4th of July week. So yeah, it was really cool to get out there for all of that stuff. The moose up at Brainard Lake, again, as he's on the video, the weather was real dicey that day, and we had a couple of times where I think we were pretty close to being like, we're just gonna have to call it. But I was like, no, let's just give it a little bit of time. I think these storms will pass, and they did. And then a few moose finally came back out. Of course, trying to do photography of wildlife in rain is not ideal because the animals don't come out. But yeah, fortunately, those 2 young bull moose came out, and we were able to at least see some moose and get some photos. But again, going up there, it's always so beautiful up there that you know, it's, even if I hadn't seen any moose, I think it still would have been a pretty good day. All the landscape stuff is just awesome. And then, yeah, the storm chasing segment. I thought about not including that. Not because I didn't see a tornado that day, but because it's not really a wildlife thing. And I think most people on this channel now know me for wildlife. But most people before knew me as a storm chaser. I think I had built up a pretty good name for myself in the storm chasing community. And like when I really stopped chasing, like I said, back in like 2018, a lot of people were just like, what happened to him? Like, why did he fall off? And like, where did he go? You know? And again, I always say, it's sort of this is a little weird similarity that I've noticed, but it's like, have you ever followed like a streamer who plays like your favorite video game? And so you always tune in and watch him play your game because it's your game. And then all of a sudden one day he quits and goes and starts playing another game. Yeah, that's kind of what it felt like for me, being like, I was the storm chase guy. I was the Colorado storm chase guy. And then all of a sudden I kind of just wasn't anymore. And but yeah, it's been a weird year. It's been a very active year for severe weather, just not around these parts. I mostly am, you know, what is known as high plains. I'm a high plains chaser. That means I chase Colorado, I chase Wyoming, Nebraska Panhandle, which was in the video, western Kansas, sometimes even up into the Dakotas. But yeah, I'm not like an Iowa, Oklahoma guy. And yeah, all the action was out in the eastern plains this year. So like eastern Nebraska, Iowa, Texas, just places that are not really in my range. And yeah, I don't want to say that it's been a slow year for Colorado, but the numbers do not lie. I will show you here a screenshot of the tornado count, and it's a really great website. It shows tornado count by the year. And as I'm scrolling through here, you can see that Colorado usually is in the 40 to 50 range per year. And if I scroll up here, you'll see that 2023, last year, had a really high count. And that was mostly due to one day where there were like 30 tornadoes out east. So that really padded the stats of 2023. Before that day, we were maybe a little bit above average, but that count really pushed us up. But now if I scroll up to 2024, So yeah, storm chasing for me this year has been pretty much non-existent. I think Colorado had, overall, I look back, I think like 4 or 5 really good setups, and I was out for most of them. So, I gave it as best a shot as I could for this year. And a lot of that is, I've noticed, again, over the almost 20 years of doing this, that the High Plains severe season really can be good or bad based on if we're in like a La Nina or an El Nino pattern. And last year, where it was really good, was El Nino. And my best years I've ever had chasing in the plains has been El Nino years. Around the High Plains. And it's not to say that during La Nina years that, we don't get anything. We certainly can, but El Nino seems to really ramp the High Plains up. And this year we were in a neutral transitioning to La Nina pattern. So that generally is not good for the High Plains. And as you can see from this 2024 tornado count, it was definitely not good for Colorado. So yeah, storm chasing was definitely a bit of a drag this year. But I've kind of come around to chasing. For me is like, hey, if there's something good and it's close by and I've got the time to do it, then yeah, I'll still head out for some chases. But yeah, this year just didn't work out, and that's the way it goes. But anyways, I think that is it. The hummingbird chaos section. So that hummingbird feeder is at my cousin's house, who lives down in Castle Rock. And last summer, I was over there for a barbecue, and I had no idea that they had these hummingbird feeders that were just total chaos. And so I said, oh man, next year I want to come back and actually photograph and do some video. And so I didn't add any voiceovers to that section because I had brought my audio recorder to get all of the noise of them whizzing in and out and by and fighting with each other. And I just didn't think any voiceover was really needed. So just kind of left that section as is. But yeah, that was at my cousin's house, who lives down in Castle Rock. They have a beautiful house down there with this awesome view of the mountains. It's just, it's a nice spot. So anyways, that is the video. I am now on my way in a couple days out to Oregon to try to go photograph those puffins in Cannon Beach. But I'm going to be doing lots of stuff all up and down the coast there for the 5 days that I'm there. So I believe the next video you will see will probably be of that trip once I get back. And hopefully maybe the studio here will be a little more built out. But I'm actually really happy that I was able to get in here and do all the editing and post work for this video that I'm publishing now. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. I've got one other kind of cool thing coming up, but it's not locked in yet, so I'm gonna wait on that for the next video. But yeah, I think something could be pretty cool. So anyways, I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.